Greetings, everyone, and salutations. My name is Colin McLean. I'm not just the COO, but I'm also a co-founder for Fred, My AI Pathways. I'd like to welcome you here to this great event. And thank you all for taking the time out to share in our launch. Okay, so next up, we have my good friend, the founder and CEO, Claudius. As saying Price is Right, Claudius, come on down. Give him a hand. And one fun fact I can share about Claudius is he won the 2021 Mentor of the Year award. Now, Claudius has always been mentoring, and he's phenomenal. So take it away, Claudius. Here's the clicker. Just watch me. Greens go for it. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This has been a very, very, very exciting journey that is actually a year in the making. I've known Colin for over 5 years, and May last year, I said, I need you to come with me on this project because I think I run, and I need Colin to say, okay, check this, check this, check this, check this. It's a nice balance. So thank you. So I want to actually just give an opening as to why Fred? How did we get here? Hopefully my message is going to resonate with you. For this event, I would like to give some thank you to some of our sponsors, and I apologize to one of our very major sponsors that I left out here, and I'm going to say the name out loud. The Africa Development Network is one of my big sponsor and follower of Fred. And the two gentlemen are out there at the back, very important people in my life. Thank you, Franklin Ipape, and thank you, Mr. Mise, for all your support. You'll hear from Invest Ottawa about Area EXO. Area EXO is a very important project that is particular to what we're about, because there is agriculture, experimental farming that is taking place that you need to be aware of. The Canadian Black Farmers Association, I don't know how many of you have heard about it, but it's an important organization that we're linking up with to actually front as our advocate for policy development, for research, and communication with the government to help us be able to acquire more agricultural land and get favorable and understanding of our needs to grow and make our food available. And of course, also, we have Alternate Savings, who I'm very, very pleased. There's so many banks in Canada. Canada has its unique banking systems and ways, but every so often, there's a bank that is prepared to listen. And that's how I would like to describe Alternate Savings. So please go to them. We have representatives here. They know how to listen. Okay? And finally, African Canadian Association of Ottawa. Also have, yes, they were back there with the table. Fantastic organization, helping immigrants coming from the continent of Africa to settle in Canada, training them, helping them integrate into the society, doing youth employment opportunities. And the volunteers we have at the front there, we're helping with the registration, actually come from that, from ECA organization, and they also help to sponsor today's event. Thank you very much. So, who recognizes this? Do you like to eat that? Is that what it should look like? Do you eat that? No, you don't. You go to the store and you take it home and you cut it and you start to dig out and dig out and dig out because it doesn't look good, right? Because that's not how it looks back home. Uh-huh. So that's what you get in the store. You eat it and then you're sick. And what's the cure? Medication. And how do they advertise medication? If you feel this or you feel that, go see your doctor. In other words, you eat the bad food, take the medicine to fix you, and the medicine then kills you. Whew, what a challenge. So let me talk about going from that place to coming to where we're heading with Fred. I had the misfortune of being diagnosed with an illness, and in time, through the journey I went, I was able to place a lot of it on food. Part of that journey was that I actually spent 9 months in Jamaica, living on the countryside, top of the hills, property with 2-acre lot of everything I could eat off the land. I lost over 60 pounds in weight because the medication I was given bloated me up. And that's why I left and went over there and ate fresh, walked up the hills, back and down and everything. Eventually, I was able to do so without breathing heavily, eating fresh, uncured meat. All my chicken was actually roaming free in the land. And then before 6 o'clock, you have to make sure you get them in because, what do you call them? The big birds. I didn't see the shadows coming, so you have to get them, the falcons. The hawks start, hunting for your chicken. And in that process, I was very, very studious, so much so that my doctor called me a champion because he couldn't believe when I kept sending him my charts where I'm checking my sugar, I'm recording what I'm eating, and I said, look, it's easy. I see the result. I don't need you telling me what to do. So I started cutting this out, cutting that out, cutting that out. But it's tough. It's tough. So then eventually then you start to learn, okay, how do you eat? What do you eat? And certainly some of the things, the difficult part that came was portion size. I had to learn to eat less. I had to learn to eat less frequently. So now, after 9 months, it was time to come back to Canada. What am I going to eat when I get back? Was the obvious question I asked. What am I going to eat? The result that actually happened, the outcome was I had to make a decision as to where I shopped for my groceries, which means that I don't go on flyers for deals. I have to go and buy premium. I got to know that fresh groceries arrive on Tuesday. So it's Tuesday that I shop and pay premium. By Friday, it's discounted. Doesn't work. So now the alternative to those bad food that I showed is really what it should look like. There's a chicken roaming free. They're eating worms because that's what actually they live off. And solutions like that's what bananas should look like, not when you go in the grocery store and it's green for you to take home and wait for it to turn yellow. No, it's not the same. It tastes differently when you actually get it off the tree. So we're going to hear from some of our presenters today on wonderful solutions that are being developed so that we can actually have those foods made, grown, farmed here in Canada. So thank you, Canada, for making those options available to us. So what are some of the challenges we face? We want authentically tasting food. We want it locally grown. We want farmers or people who identify themselves as farmers, where they're coming from, to be able to provide, to be in the economy, to contribute to the economy. I got here with an Uber, and the driver was an IT engineer from Dubai. Said he can't get to work. When he heard what I was doing as we were talking, he asked me if I've got a job for him. Yeah. So as we get to Fred, we'll see that one of the challenge we're looking to resolve is to be able to go from farm to table. So we have that concept already where you want processed cooked food, you go to Uber, they send you something. Or now the grocery stores are also now saying you can order, but they're still going to take from their shelves what has come from Mexico, from wheresoever that distance is. It's still the same thing. Farm to table should really be you order off your phone, the farmer digs it out of the ground and get it to you, to your table. So the 3 pillars of Fred is that we're looking at the consumer side, who wants fresh, sustainable produce. Quotes on the word organic, but genuine. So it's a genuine organic produce, low cost because if you're not going through the huge distribution centers, the huge supermarkets, from farm to table, it's low cost by default, and it's fresh. For the farmers, we did a lot of market research. We worked with universities, Concordia, Schulich Business School, University of Toronto. We did a lot of research, and we found that farmers pay $6,000 per stock item. So for a farmer to get their produce to a supermarket, they have to pay that amount of money. So we are providing, Fred eliminates that. Okay? So that immediately hits the bottom line to help them to be profitable. And a third pillar is that for the whole concept and business to scale, we need investors. We have to have access to more agricultural land. To acquire those land, whether by purchase or by lease, we need funders who are prepared to actually help us. And again, in the calculation that we did, we say that there is actually an 11% return on investment by investing in agriculture. So to summarize, we're looking to have authentic taste, contribution to health and wellness. By eating good food, costs the country less in healthcare. Does government know that? Yeah. I say access to culture. We travel on vacation. We go and we say, oh, we like this food. I mean, so many of us now go to so many different countries, Costa Rica, Jamaica. We come back, we're excited about jerk food and everything. What if we actually have a greater access to it here, how it's done? And here's an interesting story, actually. I reference Jamaica a lot because I'm very familiar with it. If I say to you that one of the best things you can do for any Jamaican youth, kid, adults, when you're there, is say, oh, come, let me take you to KFC. They're so excited. You come from here, you want to eat KFC. The taste is the same, but you know what's different? The chicken. We can't eat it here because it's battery farmed. The chicken is different. So there's so many different cultural ways of doing things and cooking. I'm particularly very interested in, like, you know, wow, I go somewhere, I want to taste Ethiopian food. I want to taste if something from Eritrea. Um, you know, Sador took me to an event one time. I was so excited, I couldn't wait for them to open up the table so we can start eating. It was great. And of course, by enabling the farmers, immigrant farmers, to be able to contribute to start farming, they also will be contributing to the wealth of Canada, to the economic development of Canada. We cannot forget that, creating jobs. And also, we must do it because we can. Thank you.